Hey guys, welcome to the PGC podcast. I'm here today with your three co-hosts, myself, Caleb,
Oh,
and Ryan.
Right?
Today we're joined by our special guest. I'm J-Ron. I'm
what's
J-Ron.
going
You want to
on?
say hi to everyone?
Absolutely. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, doing great. So we got a couple of topics we want to go over. I'll let Caleb, as always, go ahead and get us started.
Yeah, so first off, we actually are going to talk a little bit about I'm J Ron's TikTok channel, getting into the TikTok verse. Very different, I know, than YouTube and Twitch. Moving from that, we're going to be talking about a lot of GTA since we got J Ron here. Rockstar is reportedly remastering its PS2 games, which that's Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, Vice City, GTA 3, San Andreas, all the hard hitters. Moving on, we're going to get
Absolutely.
into a rumor, actually, of Battlefield 2042 Hazard Zone. For those who don't know about Hazard Zone, that's the third mode. We have the multiplayer, we have the portal, and then we're going to have Hazard Zone. Hazard Zone is going to be kind of like Escape from Tarkov. We're going to learn more about that. And then
Works for
finally,
me.
we always have to talk about the greatest games of all time. And this one may or may not include GTA. I'm just throwing that out there. It may
Ooh.
include a lot of the GTA heavy hitters. So,
Sneak
wrap.
peek.
Yeah, no, it is going to be really interesting. So, pushing all the way back to the beginning, we have I'm J Ron here. So I'm J Ron. Starting out, what got you? I know you enter a little bit of dubstep. Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
So a little bit about me. Yeah, my name is Jerron. I'm from Virginia. Music is something that I'm pretty sure pushes all of us, but man, I love dubstep. That is just something that is extremely like important. There is not a day that I don't listen to dubstep. Started off when I was young, very, very young. I was probably like 10 years old on the computer, and I believe I was watching Call of Duty edits, and I song that was, of course, by Skrillex.
Hmm.
Looked him up, and ever since then, it's simply been dubstep for me only. No rap, no nothing, just straight up dubstep. And always when I was younger, I used to look at concerts on YouTube, and I used to be like, man, I have to go to those. Like, and Skrillex was at his prime when I was 12, 13 years old. I was not old enough to be going.
For sure.
Um, I got a little bit older, turned 18, went to my first concert, and it was definitely an experience for me. It was like, I think this is exactly where I belong. Um, I have actually, when I went to my first concert, I got shouted out by the artist. That's pinned on
Whoa.
my Twitter. Yes, absolutely. That's pinned on my Twitter forever, because that was just like, wow, first concert experience. He's like, hey, whoever that was right there smiling and dancing, yo, shout out to you, because honestly, that's what it's all about. And that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Mhm.
So,
Oh yeah.
but yeah,
You have
music
to
has
just
definitely.
enjoy the moment.
Yes, man. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, when I go out there, that's what it's all about. I let all my happiness and energy flow throughout, and I move on with that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that is really cool. See, I'm a nerd because I'll look up dubstep, but then I'll have to have the tag binaural beat in it, and I'll be like, "Oh
Okay.
yeah, I'm doing something to my brain."
Whoa, dude. So
Yeah, music. Yeah.
do you make any dubstep or you just listen to it?
It's funny you ask. Yeah, I've dabbled into a little bit of everything. I have actually made a dubstep track for fun. I don't ever do
Oh.
anything too serious. But the track it was actually during the time. I don't know if you guys know the video when the little kid he came out of his room and he was like, we like Fortnite, we like Fortnite.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
took that and I made a song, and that's the song. Yeah, it's on my SoundCloud.
That's
that sounds
crazy. Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
dude.
Yeah,
If we can get a clip of that, we'll play it now.
Okay, yeah, if you go on here, I'll actually link it to you right now.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a silly little song. It was my first time really messing with that type of genre. But it got over, I believe, 700 plays on it,
Dude, that's
and
pretty good.
yeah,
While
people
while
liked
you're
it.
pulling that up, so who's your Mount Rushmore of dubsteppers? Like, if you had to have your top four Mount Rushmore, who you got?
Ooh, that's hard. So, I would definitely have to say these are all going to be underground artists. his one is Hole, HOL with an exclamation mark.
Okay.
Murata, I actually met him just last month.
Oh.
I would have to say Versa. Of course, I'm repping his merch. And I would have to say Sisto, another one that's making like some really, really, really crazy music right now.
What got you started making like TikTok videos and stuff like that?
Oh man, videos. I actually have a digital footprint that is dated in 2009.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was a very young child, blessed, thank you from my mother, you know, because she actually allowed me to have a laptop, and I know a lot of people that was just like a no-go, especially back in 2009. Like, you're a little kid, you don't know, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But she, you know, she understood that I was a responsible child, and I looked up, I saw some things, and I saw YouTube, and I was like, man, what is, you know, I see people uploading videos, and you know, I'm playing RuneScape, and you know, while I'm playing RuneScape, I see people making videos, so I'm like, I want to do that. So I
Sure.
literally, you know, I learned, and that was it. It was there from there. First video was actually me. It's very terrible, but I was saying that Michael Jackson was alive, and that was trying to, you know, me trying to get some clicks, but you know, I was 9 years old. What do you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, yeah, it's been since 2009. I got into the world of videos and putting my videos on the internet. Of course, that came along with video editing. I actually have old videos on my old YouTube channel that are of me, like, you know, doing like disappearing tricks. It'll be like a video of me in a room, and I'll disappear, you know. And
That's cool.
Like King,
yeah, that
like King Bach style. Do you know who King Bach is from Vine?
yeah, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like that whole like
Yeah. Yep,
Like
yeah,
fades out.
exactly, exactly. Yes,
I like the sound
that's
effect.
that's
The
Yeah, that's
crazy-
what that. Like a,
I don't know if
alien
it's
beam
quite
or
like
something.
that. I don't know if it's
Well,
quite
it
like
might,
that,
you know,
but
I
it's
might
pretty
be an
close.
octave
Yeah,
or two off. But it's close.
right.
just slightly off.
The
But
crazy
yeah,
thing
man.
though is, like I said, how I found Drawn was I was actually scrolling through, and I have like gaming stuff on my TikTok. I have like funny videos, but the thing that really I followed them instantly because it was crazy. It was your video on the wheelchair location. I don't know
Oh
what
man,
app
that's
it
actually
was.
my biggest one right now.
Yeah, I was scrolling through. It was recommended to me, and just like your voice about it and the way you like set up the video, it all just seemed like super interesting. And I loved your style of the TikTok weird locations, MythBuster type stuff. So as
Rockstar
far
is
as
no
like, what was
stranger.
your first video that really like blew up on your TikTok?
I would have to say probably in terms of blowing up. What do you mean? Because there's a video that, like my second video, I would count that as blowing up. It hit over 40K views. So I mean,
Yeah.
I've considered that blowing up. But I
Yeah.
think the one that actually got the most attention, like where people were asking me, like, "Hey, you need to do part 2 on this."
Yeah.
It was actually the Grand Theft Auto comparisons, the celebrity lookalikes, because if you know about San Andreas, you know that the characters are based on actual people. So yeah, I made a little, very short video, following, of course, the trend that was at the time. It was where people were posing. So I was like, there's celebrities. I can make that happen with the video, you know, pop them in and show them who's who. And so I put that together, and that was the first video where people were commenting like, hey, you need to do part 2. And then moving on from there, as far as, you know, like I said, my biggest video right now was actually the horror series, which is actually sitting at 700K views.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We know
So
how
what was-
Ryan feels about horror.
Yeah, I love horror. You could see the Michael Myers and all that.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's a beautiful setup.
Thank you, man. But so out of all those, blowing up aside, what was your favorite video to make? Like, what's the most time put into a video, and what was the one that when you put it out, you're like, man, I love this?
It's gonna have to be the horror one, you know. I definitely, and the reason why that hits so hard for me is because as a kid, I grew up watching these Grand Theft Auto San Andreas MythBuster videos, and these myths that I'm actually doing have been around since probably like 2006, believe it or not.
Wasn't there a Bigfoot one? There's a
Yes, that Bigfoot one is ancient. Yes, ancient. And you know, a lot of people, you know, they like that. You know, our world, we love, I don't know what it is, but horror is like always hot. You know,
Yeah.
so I was like, hey, I used to watch these videos. I think it's time for me to actually make them. Include little, of course, you have the people that are like, oh, this is all fake. And it's like, yeah, but it's the joy of it. And,
Right.
if I'm able to make this entertainment for people, then I'm going to do that. But yeah, the horror series right now is really hot. A lot of people asking me for seconds. I actually just uploaded a second one last night, I believe. I was saying that second one, yeah, I definitely put a lot of effort into it. It's definitely the way I did it. I wanted to make it, like I said, I grew up on this type of entertainment, and what I wanted to do was provide that for the younger generation or whoever else is watching my TikTok channel. I actually included a lot of creepy things, like, added on. Of course, it's not real, but in my latest video, I don't know if you guys have seen it, it's the story about the ghost cars.
Yep.
The ghost cars.
And yeah, there's ghost cars in San Andreas. Yes, there's actually this is like as far as the vanilla game goes, there's actually locations in the game where there's these cars that spawn, and they are damaged and they have no type of meaning. And upon entering the vehicle repair cheat code, they do not repair. So I made a video on it. Like I said, the entertainment aspect of it, I had included some edited things, of course, but mainly what I'm happy that people are noticing, I had actually placed some figures in the background of the video.
I see that. We're watching that now.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, so I let them, I was like kind of putting my own little Easter eggs. I'm like, I'm going to let them have fun with this one. So placed them in the background. And sure enough, of course, one of the first comments was like, hey, what's that in the background?
Right.
I entertain it. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are scaring me. I like to get that engagement with my viewers.
I feel like
definitely.
Wait,
go ahead, Ryan.
You're gonna have a fight in the.
We're having fights. We're having wars.
I was gonna say, I feel like San Andreas was one of those games where it's like creepy without even trying to be creepy. I remember playing that when I was like I feel like maybe we're the same age, like around 12 or so, and I was like terrified to play it. Like when it got nighttime, I was like, there's some weird crap going on in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of horror stuff is the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's all the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, spooky stuff. Like I find most of the scary games to me are like the ones that aren't trying to be scary, but like you're just like walking into like an abandoned area. Like to me, that's like super sketch. I know there's a lot of Tarkov runs that I'm sitting there and it's just like pitch black. There's nothing around me, and I'm just in a building all by myself, and I'm like, dude, this is something can happen at any moment of time. That's. Ugh.
The most terrifying mission on San Andreas was most definitely the graffiti mission. The entire time, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is great. It's great.
Absolutely, man. San Andreas is just a wonderful game that I feel like I'm happy that, of course, it's going to be coming back. But yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so speaking of San Andreas, is what made you like really want to make San Andreas content on TikTok? Like what was what made you like
TikTok.
really? Yeah, TikTok.
I've actually, like I said, I've been making content on and off all my entire life, and I was actually one of the ones that was bashing TikTok. I used to bash TikTok heavily.
I was really hesitant to download it for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is for kids. It's stupid, man. Bring back Vine. And, that's when I kind of realized, oh, wait, TikTok is basically Vine now.
Right.
Like, I mean, same thing. There was a bunch of, like, you went public with, like, all the data stuff, like how much data they're taking in and stuff. And so that was, like, all contributing factors to me being like, I don't know that I really want this app. I'm 24. Like, do I need to be on TikTok? And then I started getting bored at work. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, TikTok, as much as I bashed it, I am myself also a businessman, so I was like, I hear all these people, they're like, yo, you're stupid if you're a content creator and you're not on TikTok. Yeah. And that was just ringing in my head for the longest, man, like ringing, like years were going by. It was 2019 and then 2020 and then 2021, and like, yo, you really letting an opportunity slip you by. Like, I'm seeing people that, not to really bash anybody, but I'm seeing low quality content get tens and thousands and millions of views So I'm like, man, if I'm, I know my worth. I make quality content.
Yep.
Why am I not on here? I'm silly.
Yeah.
So actually, not even a month ago. It hasn't even been a full month. Last July 22nd of last month, the 22nd of last month, I sat down, and San Andreas once again has always been something. I've been playing and modding this game since I was like 10 years old. And I was like, man, people need to know the cool stuff that you can do in this game because it's like not a lot. So I sat down, I said, you know what? Let me bite the bullet. Let me test out this little TikTok thing. Made a little, the first video was actually just a mod showcase video. Didn't get that much views, but it was the start of something. So
yeah, the Naruto one.
Yes, absolutely. The Naruto video, that was, I felt like that, there's always a saying that's like, you just have to take the first step. Whatever it is, you take the first step. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a little video. I made it too long. I noticed that first off the bat. Too long of a video, but it was something. I put effort into it. I edited it nicely. And then from there, I kind of understood TikTok. Like literally the first video, first views I was getting, I understood TikTok and I was like, okay, I got it now. And then I'm just going to go ahead and keep pushing on that. And, obviously it's what people really wanted because, like I said, it hasn't even been a month yet and we're coming up on 20,000 followers. Man.
That's pretty crazy. I think the main thing that shows through is, like you said, is definitely like the quality, like just the editing alone, like even in your first video, just like going in the background. Like I thought the main thing that was really interesting to me, like you're talking about the history of like, well, this was first uploaded in like 2000, it was like 2009 or something like that, and I'm like that's really interesting, him going like actually talking about the creator. And and then especially more recent stuff like the Rusty wheelchair, that was kind of spooky. You talk about like some guy may or may not have potentially fell into a lake. So definitely, man, that's I mean, it's kind of like deserved views, you know what I mean? Like normally, like you mentioned before, a lot of these people, they just go out, try to get the views, try to get the cheap laughs, the cheap gaffes, I guess you'd say. But this is really interesting stuff. Besides the how did you pronounce it? The Palomino Creek. How did you pronounce that? That was kind of funny.
It's funny because I remember when I was editing the video, I was getting the shots. I was getting that pan down shot of the welcome to Palomino Creek. I was just staring at the sign and I was like, God, they are gonna bash me if I mispronounce this. So I'm like, is it Palomino? Is it Palomino? I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna say Palomino and I'm gonna go with it. It shouldn't take away from the video, but God, man, there's so many people. And then there's like my phone right now is buzzing, probably saying, hey man, it's pronounced Palomino.
I think that might actually helped you out though. Like again, that's more, hey, maybe that guy wouldn't have commented or left a like or whatever if you wouldn't have said Palomino or whatever. So that might have helped you out.
Yeah.
My favorite is when people are like, I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong, but then they pronounce it or whatever, and they're like, don't get on me in the comments. But I go straight to the comments, and everyone's like, how dare you?
Right. Yeah, man, I just went with it.
But rotating over to gaming news, what GTAs have you played? I'm assuming a lot of them. And do you play them primarily on PC or console?
So of course, everybody who's everybody has played them first on a PlayStation 2, or their original Xbox. I grew up, and big shout out to my uncle for even allowing me to play such a game at such a young age. Got my hands on Vice City when I was 7 years old. Playing that, definitely, yes. Shout out to Vice City Story.
The PSP version.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, I have played Vice City. I have touched a little bit of 3. I never really got into the story of it, but I've definitely played it. Of course, Grand Theft Auto 4 was very huge for me.
Nico, do you want to go bowling? No, Roman, I do not want to go fucking bowling.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Like one of my favorite things ever.
That game definitely holds a lot of friend memories, like, the online. and of course GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
GTA 4 was where the first, before it was even called PGC, started. They had like GTA
Oh,
4
yeah.
role
Role
plays.
play.
It was called Fate role plays.
Yes,
And
exactly.
even the DLC for GTA 4 was great. Like
Yes.
the Ballad of Gay Tony was amazing. Added like new vehicles. I think you had like golden like Benzes and stuff like that. Like it was fun. They
Yeah.
even added like new helicopters and stuff that weren't in the game. It was great.
Yeah,
You
And
have a
Rockstar was
Sean. You have a
insane.
video where I don't know if you said you made it for your dad, but it was that song. It was like, I crashed
yeah,
my car into the bridge.
it got thousands of views for no
Stop.
Yeah.
reason. Like that was on the Zombies Fate channel, but I think it's a privated video. I'll send
Yeah.
you a link here in a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah, that's where I first dabbled in modding. So
Mhm.
you said you were modding when you were much younger. I think that this was probably around the time I'm like 15, 16. I don't know. It's kind of hard to hit those ages, right? But
Right.
I used to. It was weird. I didn't have like a JTAG setup or anything. Someone sent me like a mod disc. I had to take apart my Xbox. Had to take the little magnet off of the spinny disc and
Yeah.
like throw the
Hot
other
spot.
disc on and stuff. But yeah, man, a lot of good memories on GTA 4.
Absolutely.
In comparison to, the new GTA's. I would, or GTA 5, sorry, like they've had multiple. I would kind of prefer, GTA 4. It was honestly
Yes.
one of my favorites. I would like to see them return to Liberty City. I think that would be amazing. But I don't know that we'll see that.
Let me ask you guys. So, if you were to put all the main characters together in a fight, you have CJ, Franklin, Trevor,
Oh man,
Nico. I want to hear from all you guys.
that's so
Who would
unfair.
win that fight? Who would win?
It's
Dude, I
hard.
mean, Nico's a Russian, and
Right.
like I don't
I
know.
think Trevor. My guess is Trevor.
Well,
I think Trevor too, dude. You can
Yeah.
shoot him like
Trevor
1,000
definitely
times. He's
crazy.
still just like crawling. That guy's
Yeah.
crazy, man. He's just like whatever he's got to do to survive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna get done with Trevor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure, dude.
No,
All right,
that's
so
just-
finally, since we're on the topic of GTA 5, Rockstar is not GTA 5, but Rockstar is reportedly remastering its PS2 era GTA trilogy. So that's GTA 3, that's San Andreas, and that's Vice City. So what do we think about that?
Man, that is just that's the biggest news
Yeah.
that I could have ever wished for. It's almost like we've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah.
So but yeah, man, I have always been that person, just always in my head. I feel like I was the only one saying, yo, when are we gonna get a remaster of Vice
Mhm.
City? When are we gonna get a remaster of 3?
Right.
So and it's so funny that this was beginning to happen right around the time that I started this TikTok thing. So it's like it went hand in hand. It's like, oh man, I'm making this TikTok about San Andreas, and now all of a sudden the trilogy is getting remastered,
Mhm.
and it's beautiful news, man. It's funny because I don't know if you guys know, but they actually were taking down projects that I have actually played when I was younger. Like, and it was
Oh.
weird. Yeah, it was super weird to see that. They were sending DMCA notices to literally like old projects, and
Wow.
that was just I felt it was like it was bittersweet. I was kind of happy. I was like, whoa, y'all are targeting these HD mods of these old games. That means
Right.
something.
Yeah.
So
I wish that they
I
wouldn't, because of how old it is. It would be cool if they
Yeah.
just focused
Right.
on the remastered content. I mean, if they're keeping a lot of the old game stuff, then maybe they know that, oh shit, people will just be able to add
Yeah.
their mods like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if they gave like a shout out to the old mod creators, because that's kind of what gave a lot
Right.
of the like that's the main reason why a lot of people even go back to San Andreas, back to Vice City, and back to GTA 3, because you can have some crazy mods on there, like the Naruto mod, for instance.
Right,
So
absolutely, man. Yeah.
I think they should
I'm
give
just
a little call out to them.
I'm definitely super excited, for these remasters, especially because I am a fanboy of the Unreal Engine. They're being made in the
Oh, yeah.
Unreal Engine. So
Wow,
that's
really?
gonna
I didn't
be,
even know that.
that's gonna be beautiful to see GTA
Yeah.
3, Vice City, and San Andreas in the Unreal Engine. there's actually already been fan-made teasers that are beautiful, that showcase what it could look like. But yeah,
Are they doing are they doing like the same character, same story? They're just like revamping the graphics.
Yeah, so what they actually acquired a team. I forgot the name. I believe it's Ruffian Games. They acquired Ruffian Games, and they master like the remastering scene. That's their main focus. They work on rebuilding games and focusing on the core, like how it played on the PlayStation 2. That's how they're gonna try to rebuild it, but make it, obviously to today's standards of video gaming.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Another thing too is like, well, I remember recently they came out, I think it was like a month or so, like the main CEO or head of it, and they're like, hey, do not expect a GTA 6 until like years and years and years. We're not even going to start developing one in like 2 years from now. So that got me like, dude, there's no way that they're going to wait all this time to not put out anything. So now they're here, and at least we're going to get this little morsel of games, this crazy trilogy right before GTA 6 comes out. Dude, that's definitely going to take us over, at least get us over the edge to GTA 6. So it says right here too. It says, like you said, it's going to be remastered in the Unreal Engine, with one source commenting that they look like heavily modified versions of the existing titles. So that's good. If they're true to the originals, I don't really think they can really mess this up. If they stick straight, just redoing all the the older graphics and such and making it to today's standards, man, they're gonna have some really good games.
I'm looking forward to Vice City a lot, and I know that San Andreas is kind of like the hot topic of it all, but I've played a lot of San Andreas, and so I'm excited to play it again. Don't get me wrong, remastered, but Vice City is a game I haven't played since I was a little kid, like a little kid who should not have had GTA. But somehow snuck it into my house and was playing it. So, everyone had to take their mom to GameStop or the dad and be like, "Oh yeah, it's only rated M because there's alcohol in it." But I'm not into that.
I won't do that.
You never mentioned a strip club or anything.
No strip.
I was cracking up. So my sister had her friend come into town to visit, and her son kept coming in my room wanting to play games. So he asked his mom if he could play GTA. She said yeah. So he's playing. And he's like, he must have brought up the strip club at least 20 different times as a little kid. He's like 11 or something. I don't go to the strip club. It's not for me. And like, we'd be on the other side of the map, be like, oh, don't go to the strip club. And I'm like, I'm not going to go to the strip club. But why you keep bringing it up? And he's like, I don't go there. Yeah, you're saying it a little too much.
That's kind of suspect, man.
Yeah. It's like trying to cover it with dirt. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
I showed the disc earlier, but one thing that Jerron was talking about before we did the podcast was the current generation of just buying games online. Yeah. I think if they did this with they had an old box set and I was trying to find it, but if they came out with the 3 series with like just stuff like this, like the old map that imagine an Xbox Series X 3 series of the Grand Theft Auto with like just stuff like this, that would be insane.
That's one of my favorite things was GTA 4 and GTA 5. When you bought the disc version, you got a whole map of the entire area.
You got definitely worth it. On the midnight release, if you went, you actually got a poster.
And you got the bag, a GameStop bag.
I remember
the graphic.
I remember that, especially for like Call of Duty and game like Modern Warfare 2. I went to like the midnight release. They gave me a whole like poster and everything. Like, man, see, those are the things that I think would bring up the physical copy sales. And I think that right now, with it all being primarily digital and you get skins and stuff like that, that stuff's cool to like show off to your online friends, but nothing's cooler than having something hanging up on your wall.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Definitely nice.
Yeah, I agree. I remember for Red Dead, they had the whole map, and I remember like going like I had so in school obviously you can't have any video games, so I would like pre-plan what I was gonna do in the video game. So I had that little map, and I'd sit there like, okay, today I'm gonna go on my horse, I'm gonna go over here, dude. I was also trying to find Sasquatch too. I was like, dude, maybe he's over here. Maybe these woods. So
So crazy story. I actually had a notebook, and I wish I still. It's probably somewhere in like my stuff, but I had this notebook, and it was the Modern Warfare 2 main menu, and I made the main menu on the notebook. I made the
Dude.
create a class screen and all the perks with all the description. I mean, I I must have spent hours on it. But I used to take it into school, just like you were saying, and plan my stuff. So I would make, using my create a class menu thing that I made, I would make another page and I'd make my classes that I wanted to try or try to make my classes better. It was
That's
wild,
crazy.
dude. I had weird quotes in there. I had like quotes that said like history is written by the victor. I had like
Oh
some
no.
weird Captain
Right.
Price quote that
Right.
said a river of blood or something. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's cringy, you know,
Jeez.
but I think we all had our
Oh
little moments
man.
as
Mm-hmm.
kids.
Yeah, for
Definitely just
sure.
getting lost in the excitement.
So, I mean, talking about this new recent games, talk about like digital and physical games. Is there any games you're looking forward to, J-Ron?
As of currently, gaming right now is not really. I'm not gonna say it's not my priority, but if the only thing I'm really looking forward to right now is the remasters, of
Yeah.
course. I feel like that's gonna be a prime opportunity for me, in the field that I'm in right now with this TikTok thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am super excited for that. That's like the biggest gaming news I've gotten all year, actually.
Yeah. Do you plan on like making? I mean, obviously it's kind of like a known thing. Like, are you gonna make like videos inside of the new remaster? I bet you that's gonna be crazy, dude.
So what I'm expecting, what I'm hoping, of course, when we get our PC releases of the video games, I do hope that the modding community is as strong as it is with the older
Mm-hmm.
games, and that they open up these opportunities for
Yeah.
people like me to go in and make content with the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I definitely at the start, of course, I think I'm gonna be doing probably comparison videos. I think that'll be really hot, showing
Yeah.
off what it looked like in the old game and versus the remaster. That's gonna be really hot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just really doing comparison videos at the start. I'm gonna do a full playthrough on my own, of course. But then yeah, I'm definitely just gonna admire. I love admiring video games. So when it's a remaster, I'm gonna go in and look in every nook and
Yeah.
cranny just to see,
Right. Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
see what's changed, what's beautifully, what did they do different,
See
and
how they
but yeah,
update Easter eggs and stuff.
Yeah.
That'll be
yes,
cool. Yeah.
See if they
I'm
kept the
really
cars
hoping
in.
they keep that in.
Those hidden
Right?
Right.
secret
Yes.
cars, dude. That'd be crazy if they
Yes.
got rid of
Man.
them. You're like, dude, that's suspect. Ooh.
Man,
What I'm
it's
thinking,
only gonna be more opportunity. But go
Mhm.
ahead.
right. What I'm thinking with what you were saying, like hoping that the modding community really has a chance to shine and that the developers let some of these mods come through. I think what it's going to boil down to is, are there going to be shark cards? I hope not, all that stuff.
There's
I
gonna
don't see
be.
them adding any of that, but if they add like a multiplayer and stuff like that, that could affect the modding community. If they keep it
Heavily.
just single player and just like that, then I think that you could definitely see those mods coming out because they're not losing money. It's
Mhm.
Right.
when the developers and the company starts losing money that they're going to be like,
Yeah.
all right, if they can get these skins for free, but we're charging $10 for a Nico Bellic skin, then yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Absolutely.
that's gonna be a tough thing because I know they made like billions off of the shark card
Yeah.
system. So
Yeah.
So much.
for them not to just take that like win, like instant
Right.
win, and just be like, you know what? Because there's no pressure for them not to do that. Like there's no one saying like, hey, don't do that because it's already a thing they established. And they had the same thing in Red Dead 2, didn't they? Like some kind of monetary system. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's. I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen, but I think it would really benefit not having that whole system of just like spending like $100 to get $8 million in your game. Like, man, that's
Yeah.
a rough thing. That's
Do
definitely
we
a rough
know if there's going to be multiplayer?
No, nothing
thing.
has
We
been
don't know
said
yet.
at all on that.
This is still
Right.
kind of
Even a
even up
release
in the air.
date?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Has
we're
there
still
been a
early.
release date for it?
Some people.
No,
Go ahead.
it's still, like I said, it's still just, it's like he said, it's still just in the air. But it's definitely, we know that it's happening, but we know nothing on the actual
Gotcha.
product just yet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they added some type of multiplayer mode to each of them? That would be.
Man.
It would be a lot of time, but if they did it, holy shit! And
That'll scare
here,
me.
I'm gonna just throw a mind fuck situation here
Okay.
at you guys. Now, this is probably something that won't happen, but what if you went to because I know we're all hoping for this in GTA 5. What if you go to the GTA 5 airport and you can fly to Vice City? You
Oh,
can fly
dude.
to
That'd be
the
crazy.
old San Andreas
Hey,
and
you
that snow
might
map.
be on to something.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying
You might
because
be on to something.
they could port all the GTA 5 content,
Yeah.
the cars, everything,
hmm
but to the new maps. And
And
I
have
don't
it as the
know.
new
I just
online
that's
environment.
my shot in the
Hey,
dark.
that's
Dude.
definitely like I could see Rockstar doing that. If people have been asking for new maps in GTA 5 online.
Yeah,
It's been the
Mhm.
same map since 2013, really.
it would
So,
be wild.
hey, they
I don't
are
know how
remastering
they do
Imjron.
it, but I feel like it's possible.
That would
It's
be kind of a Rockstar thing to do. Or they could do like the
Right.
Halo, take the Halo journey and like where you push like a Y or whatever on your controller and it takes you back to like the old version of it. So you can like
Right.
switch
Yeah.
immediately back from the old graphics to the new graphics. Old graphics, new graphics.
On
Dude,
GTA 5, does anyone know the name of the snow map? Yankton, North
North
Yankton, right?
Yankton.
Yeah, the
Yes.
So
beginning scene.
when GTA 5 first came out, you could actually fly if you went and did like a certain mission or whatever. You could then go and fly out of the map, and it wouldn't blow you up or none. It would just turn to snow, and then the whole thing would kind of like merge into your screen. So I always thought that that's where they would incorporate the airport, and you'd fly to North Yankton, and you'd be able to play in that. But now they've made it to where you can't even get to North Yankton in multiplayer. So
Wow.
that's where I got the airport idea. It was originally North Yankton, and it would be cool if they did that.
Yeah.
They
It
could do
would
like
be
like they did
amazing.
with the characters as well, like where you press like down on the D-pad and it switched from like Franklin to Mike to Trevor. You could do that where you press down on the D-pad and you
Oh,
Oh.
map,
That would,
map, map.
hey,
that would be
that would be,
cool.
hey, that would
And
be
then you know
amazing.
how
I
they
could
do the
see it.
sky view where they like pull you out and then they put you in place. They could probably do that too, where if you press down the D-pad to Vice City and it pulls you
Yeah,
out to the sky view,
Dude.
loads
switch
in,
over from
and then you
Jeep
load into
Now-
Vice City.
Tommy.
Now,
Oh,
Rockstar,
man.
I know you're watching the video,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have our LinkedIn
Dude.
and our email. So
Yeah.
you just email us, and we'll help you with
We
these
get royalties.
ideas.
We get royalties. And we said the
Right.
shark card system, we're at another system, royalties.
If you use it, I'm gonna be expecting the name drop at the very
Yeah.
least.
All right, so
It'd be
you go.
beautiful.
Yeah, so moving on, we got our GTA stuff in. We always have to mention Battlefield because we're Battlefield boys.
Every podcast.
We'll talk about a quick rumor, I should say, about Battlefield 2042's Hazard Zone. And like I was saying, Battlefield 2042 is going to have 3 modes. It's going to have the main multiplayer that everybody knows. It's going to have the Portal, which is kind of like melding every kind of Forge mode you've ever played from Halo and all sorts of stuff. And then the last one's going to be Hazard Zone, which is kind of their take on a battle royale, but it's more so like DayZ, if you've ever played that, or like Escape from Tarkov.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't exactly know the genre that's called, but it's going to be very, very similar to that. But again, obviously, it's going to be Battlefield's takes on that. So,
See, I'm wondering if like we're gonna get dropped at the like shore, right? And you like run in and it's higher to your loot, or if it's gonna be battle royale where you're jumping out of the sky, choosing your location, and there's a ring. Because I feel like there's a lot of combinations of that they could do. I mean, and is it gonna have its own map, or is it gonna be on all the different maps? I have a lot of questions for that because the last battle royale was trash that they did.
Yeah, the thing is with Firezone, right? Wasn't it called like
Firestorm?
Firestorm. They had a lot of like really good parts to that. They had a lot of like places that they could have improved on. But it's just the fact that the game was already so far in development and they were already so behind that they couldn't put all the effort they needed on Firestorm. So I think with this, them having more effort, more studios focusing on this, we could see something cool. I'm definitely looking for it. I'm a big Tarkov guy. I've been playing a lot of Tarkov, so
all day.
Yeah, all day, dude. You can't stop it. You can't start the Tarkov grind. So that's
the Tarkov train. Choo choo.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a game for me that I enjoy watching more than playing.
Yeah.
Man, watching that game. I don't know if you guys watched Dr. Lupo.
Yeah. He's
huge. I don't know, it's like I love watching that game, but I'll never play it.
Yeah, it's intense, dude. Like, I'm glad, it's one of those things, like, if you don't play it, you have such an advantage, because whenever you die in Tarkov, it's such a, oh my god, it's hard, because you're like, no, I lost like probably $2 million, or it's a very expensive loadout, so you're like, man. And it's always from the weirdest things too. You always get someone squatting, and they corner camp the entire game, they kill you, or you get run up on. It's a lot of stuff. So I hope that Battlefield 2042, they have their take on it, make it interesting, add a little bit more variety to that kind of genre of games that's starting to sprout up. I feel like we've had our battle royales now, and I feel like these games, the DayZs, the Tarkovs, the Hazard Zone, is going to be kind of entering a new market, new genre. So we'll see some more. We'll see. Moving on, though, again, we always got to talk about the best games of all time, and one of the best series of all time is GTA. So, what do you think we should start out? What GTA do we want to look at?
Are we doing 5 different GTAs?
I think we should do as many as we can while we have J-Ron here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so starting out, let's go ahead and do, we've already talked about it, GTA 4. It's a big one.
It's a huge one.
This is going to be hard for me.
I know.
It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah. So who's
everyone
played...
needs to get out of their unbiased moments.
Yeah,
we need to
for sure. Who's played GTA 4?
Biases. Huh?
I said who's played GTA 4? I actually haven't even played. I've watched videos, like funny videos. I haven't played it.
You've never played it?
No, I've never played it, dude.
All right, so leave this to the professionals.
Okay, all right.
So J-Ron, just so you know, we do a tier list out of 1 through 10, and then he could tell us like what the breakdown is exactly. You can see it on screen now. But GTA 5,
4,
GTA 4. GTA
yeah, you're getting your
4.
numbers mixed up, man.
Yeah. See, for me, this is pretty easy. I could give it an easy. I'll give it an easy 9. And
easy 9.
Okay. Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't give it a masterpiece, although it is a masterpiece in my mind, there were a couple of things like the private modes that you could do and stuff like that. Like you could turn blips on and off if y'all remember multiplayer. The only reason it's not getting a 10 is because if you guys remember, there were no planes in GTA 4. There were only helicopters. And for me, I'm an aviation addict. So, there's got to be planes. Now, the helicopters were great, but that's why I'm deducting a point. The diversity in vehicles just wasn't there.
Agreed.
What do you think? What do you think it?
So for me, I'd probably agree with a 9, because it does, like, for a game to be a masterpiece, it has to have a lot for me. But it's that game had so much impact, even as like a kid. Like I remember like seeing everywhere, GameStop, Blockbuster, every place sold that game. Every place had that game, and I wanted to play it so bad. And that was a game I think I got on midnight release. I think that was the only game I've ever went to a GameStop, asked my parents if I could go midnight release and get that game. But just the impact alone was crazy. The story, you could do like customizations. That was not the first time, but the detail on the customizations that you could do for your characters, like outfits and everything like that, was just through the roof. It's a solid game. So 9 is gonna have to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to also agree with that 9. GTA 4 is definitely one of those games that it was almost perfect. If they had, I would say the single player aspect, beautiful with everything. And if we're talking about DLC as well, the Ballad of Gay Tony and the other one, the Lost in the Dam.
Yeah.
Man, they really did their thing with single player content.
Absolutely wild.
And the only thing that's keeping it from a 10 for me is the online lacked a lot. The only thing you could really do was, not to say it was bad, but you couldn't do much. But it was still like, man, for role playing and just having fun with friends, it was definitely something to be there for. So yeah, solid 9.
Solid
There
9.
were so many like cops and robbers game modes. It actually
Right.
kind of upsets me that they're not remastering it, and I'm hopeful that the reason that they're not, I'm so hopeful for this, we can only pray, that it's because GTA 6 will be in New York. I want us to return to New York. Everyone's like, let's go back to Miami. Let's do something new. I'm like, no. Liberty City was great, but it was a slim down New York. It was very minimalistic. It was great at the time. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's very minimalistic, and I feel like if they did what they did to Los Santos and GTA 5, oh man, I can only imagine how cool it would be. They can include like Long Island and stuff. Like that's a huge part of New York City. Like just everyone from New York City is gonna go out to Long Island every once in a while. Like they have someone that lives there. So
You go get a glizzy at the hot dog stand. You know?
Glizzy, I don't know about that.
Hey. All right, so the next one, let's go ahead and so we have GTA 4. We put GTA 4 at amazing. So next up, we are going to let's do GTA 5. Let's do GTA 5. Might as well get this one. This is gonna be a hard. Now I have played this one, so you guys don't have to hate on me. I played this one a lot. So I
so sorry.
personally GTA 5, dude. I've never played such a more like thought out game than this. I didn't. Again, I've only played Red Dead before from Rockstar. So this is such a thought out game. They planned every little Easter egg, every little rock. You know, they've had some kind of plan with. So I personally would put it at a 10 out of 10. What do you guys think about GTA 5? Would you guys put it 10 out of 10?
You go, Jerron.
I feel like when it comes to GTA 5, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna base this off of when I first got it midnight release. I think that as far as I want to kind of put these in 2 separate categories: single player and multiplayer. So for the single player aspect, absolute 10 out of 10. 10. You know, people hate on it all they want, but realistically, story single player content was amazing. You know, they, like you said before, they well planned out everything, little Easter eggs. You know, it was beautiful. There were some silly missions where you do, you know, drugs and you shooting against aliens. The game was fun. You know, the single player content was extremely fun. As far as the multiplayer, I'm gonna have to give that probably like a 7, you know, because I feel as though, I don't want to say that they took a step back from their older games, but I just feel like for what it was, there should have been a lot more. You know, nowadays the game is just heist. You know, you just doing heists, and don't get me wrong, that's fun and all, it's grinding, and I see what they're doing, you know, but it just, the fun aspect of it it's taken away because you go online and it's really nobody having fun. It's people just grinding or flexing what they got, you know, from grinding or paying the money to get the stuff. I don't like that type of stuff in multiplayer games. And besides all of that, you can't really do much. You know, you know, back in the GTA 4, you could enter buildings and, you know, and there's stuff like that in GTA. But like I said, it feels like it was stripped. You know, a lot of stuff was stripped.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So I've seen I like watching the Twitch streams too of like people on the PC version, and they can mod in like certain jerseys and like hairstyles. What do you think about the modding community on GTA 5?
Now, the modding community of GTA 5, now we're talking. That's 10 out of 10. You know, 5M, those 5M servers, I don't play them. I've never played them, but I've watched them. They're doing exactly what the modders on the older games are doing, but it's in the GTA 5 engine, so it's, you know, it's beautiful. But all that stuff has already been around, but I'm happy that people get to experience that on this newer Grand Theft Auto, because, you know, vanilla multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean?
So, I got a lot to say. So with what
I could tell.
Let's get this out of the way. Single player was amazing. I agree with everything he said. A lot of really cool stuff. I had like a run-in here in New York City where someone like came up to me and asked me to do something kind of sketchy and like follow them somewhere. And in GTA 5, like a lady asked for help, right? And then you follow her and then you get shot at and jumped, right? So I learned from GTA 5 not to follow people
Okay.
when they're asking you to come somewhere for help. It's a little sketchy, right?
Yeah,
Right.
life
Okay.
advice from GTA 5. Interesting.
Right. So thank you for that. Single player, 10 out of 10. All right. Multiplayer. He said there's two types of people. You either have the people who are grinding and grinding and grinding for stuff, or you have the people who like to flex with all the stuff that they
Oh,
have.
dude, that's pretty
Now,
good.
me personally, I am that person. So I have unfortunately dumped way too much time and unfortunately some amount of money. I haven't been as bad as some of my other friends with it, but I think they definitely got at least $200 to $300 out of me
Ooh.
over the years that it's been out, right? But like, oh man, it having stuff is cool, but this was the thing about multiplayer is like you were saying, the only ways to really make money, and we're talking big money because to get a submarine in the game, you're talking over 5 mil, which is
Yeah.
multiple heists. To get even one of the fastest cars in the game, or even any sports type car, you're talking at least 2-3 mil just for the stock variant. That's not even to upgrade it. For the Avenger, which is the helicopter that it is a VTOL warship, you're talking over 6 million. It's very expensive. The deluxe, I can name them all day.
Just go ahead and name all the
It
vehicles
is,
in the game.
it is so expensive to have nice things in GTA 5. And that's where I feel like the game got lost. I feel like it loses a ton of points for greediness. The shark cards it's such a greed thing that Rockstar has been doing with GTA 5, that what you were saying, there should be more content, but here's the thing, they're just going to do more content and charge you more money. If they could find a middle ground, right, where every content upgrade doesn't cost a ton of money. For example, the new car update that just came out like a week ago, think about it. You have to buy a garage to even do the car meet missions, and the garage costs, I think, like 3 to 4 mil, even out of stock version. So all these free updates aren't really free unless you've grinded for hours and hours and hours, which all of us with full-time jobs is extremely difficult to do, or just people who don't want to play GTA all day. So in conclusion, my score for GTA multiplayer would have to be like a 6 or a 7. I'll land on a 7 with you guys, only because of the little things you can do, like the remote vehicle control where you can pop your doors so you can see the engine turn and all the it is cool. And I get on it to relax all the time. So overall, my GTA 5 score for the tier list would be, since I did 10 and a 7, let's do an 8.
Okay. We have one last person, and Ryan, I'm sure since you got all of our perspective, you can make this quick. What would be your rating on GTA 5?
Okay, so right off the bat, campaign single player would be a 10 out of 10. I'll make it quick on the multiplayer. I was actually super fortunate. I had the month where I was grinding for stuff, and I looked at everybody having cool cars. This was when the game first came out, and I was like, I want that car. I want that car. And then one of my buddies messaged me, and he's like, yo, there's this dude dropping money in this multiplayer. Like, come join my game right now. And sure enough, he ended up dropping me. I probably shouldn't say this because Rockstar's gonna take
they'll
my
get you.
Yeah, don't say your gamer tag for sure.
No, but I got money. I'll just say that. And so I've been fortunate enough to get the cool cars and get the submarines and get the apartments. But even then, I see your guys' side. Like, I remember you told me, Sean, you were like, for 8 mil on the game, you have to pay $100.
$100.
Yeah. And they have like special things. Like right now, you could, for $100, you get 12 mil. But like, still, really, that is ridiculous.
Sign in. They do some things correct. Like, you can sign in if you played for like a week. I don't know how they go about it, but you'll get a little prompt on your screen, and it'll be like, you got $250,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
But even then, it's just, I don't know. I think the PC community, like Jerron was talking about with the modding, I think that's interesting as hell. I love watching that. But the people on console that can't mod, and the people that have to grind for their stuff, and they just like, they're just soaking the money out of you.
Yeah.
I'd have to give the overall score probably like a 7 or 8
7
for just
or
the
8.
whole GTA 5.
All right. So as a whole, right, we already discussed that single player, it's a 10 out of 10. We all agree that it's a solid game. You can't, I mean, that's probably like one of the best single players of all time.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. but just the game in total, since the multiplayer brings it down a much, would you guys agree on an 8 out of 10 for GTA? Okay, so let's go ahead and put GTA 5 at an 8 out of 10. Wow, that's a heavy hitter right there. That's a heavy hitter. So
we tried our best, guys, and remember, this is the only tier list.
Only tier list.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't. There's no
list.
Arguments. This is it. This is it. If you disagree, you're a buffoon. Yeah, you're a poopy head.
Yeah, sorry.
So that we did 2 solid games today. Since these were such massive blockbuster games, they took a lot of time. So let's go ahead and let's wind down the episode. Let's chill it out. Let's do a little bit of plug action. Okay, so J-Ron, what are your plugs? Where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Sprite Sheets. That's Sprite Sheets, no spaces.
Link below.
Mainly, of course, TikTok. I'm J-Ron. Most of my social media is I'm J-Ron. My Instagram is I'm J-Ron. But that's really about it. That's where you can find me at.
Hell yeah, dude! It's a lot of fun having you on, for sure.
Are you gonna do YouTube soon?
You guys are awesome. In terms of YouTube, I'm already on YouTube, but with the GTA content, merging my TikTok followers over into my YouTube account, I'm thinking about starting a Discord server for my followers to be a part of, so I can interact with them and really kind of convert a lot of people to a bigger platform like YouTube, where I can make full length content and make it a really big thing. So no YouTube just yet. I mean, well, you can find me on YouTube, of course, at I'm J-Ron, but yeah, absolutely. We'll be working our way to YouTube with the GTA content very soon.
For sure. And don't forget, YouTube has YouTube Shorts, and you could just port your TikToks over to YouTube Shorts, and there you go. You got content for days already.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, cool shit. So as for our end, we have just a quick rundown on our stuff. Gamepass Gauntlet should be out this week. We have a new PGC Tours coming out. When's that going to be out, Sean?
Should be out Sunday.
Should be out Sunday. We have obviously our Instagram, YouTube, all the other stuff, guys. So, and as all, we always got to wrap the podcast up by saying one single word. We only say one word, no other words. You can say one single word as your final word on the podcast. So let's go ahead and we'll wrap it up. We'll start with J-Ron. J-Ron, what's your one single word to wrap up this entire podcast?
Happiness.
Okay, that's pretty chill. Ryan, single word?
Water.
Water, yeah.
Water.
Hey, Sean. Okay, that's an interesting word. And as always, guys, everybody knows my final word. I say it every time. My final word is
like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below for any feedback and suggestions. I am gonna go bang Sandy behind the crusty crowd now. Bye.